Welcome to episode number 2 of Wayback Wednesday, where old school meets new school. Today's topic of discussion is video broadcast production. Let's roll the clock back to 1975. In that year, Quantel released the DFS 3000, and a year later it was used to create the picture-in-picture insets for the Montreal Olympic Games. The system did it by using a technology called FrameStore, which became a cornerstone of future digital TV products that we use today. 6 years later, in 1981, Quantel built the very first Paintbox. And the graphics that were created on the Paintbox for broadcast TV established the styles and trends of type and graphics on everything from news shows to programs like Max Headroom. Many of those styles are still very much in evidence today because the Paintbox had such a huge influence on broadcast production all the way up through the early 2000s. Paintbox was so powerful and cutting edge for the time, it literally changed the broadcast production game in the mid-80s. Okay, trivia time. The Weather Channel was the first US broadcast company to buy a Paintbox system in 1982. And in 1985, the BBC used modified Paintbox systems that were controlled by Apple Lisa computers for their weather programming moving forward. Who remembers the Apple Lisa? We're talking ancient computer tech here. The same year the BBC made the switch to Paintbox, Quantel introduced the Harry Effects system. It had a hard disk array with a proprietary parallel interface, which is much like a modern-day RAID array. Technically, it was the first all-digital, non-linear editing production system. The Harry system could record a whopping 80 seconds of video at the time of its release. Now, don't get me wrong, back in the day, this gear was at the top of the tech food chain, and with good reason. No one could match the quality and the versatility of the gear Quantel was producing, and that's why it dominated for more than 2 decades, and why there are still people using the Paintbox and Harry systems today. Let's fast forward to 2017 and take a look at the kind of hardware and software solutions we have today. It's pretty impressive. If you look at a system like Grass Valley's Director, you can see how it's changing broadcast production much the same way Paintbox did, by introducing a new interface metaphor to video switching via a touchscreen panel. And, like the Paintbox and Harry systems did back in the day, GV Director integrates video switching, multi-layer effects, animated graphics, multi-viewer monitoring, all in a single system, removing the typical complexity of production and simplifying the pre-production and production processes using one intuitive dynamic platform. Sophisticated productions can be packaged and saved offline using a Mac or a PC, then delivered live when needed or during your post-production process, which really makes Grass Valley Director a flexible and powerful tool for broadcast production. When you combine Director with other Grass Valley tools like the Edius software and the T2 recorder players, you end up with a powerhouse solution that can create broadcast productions for everything from a large house of worship to a major sporting event like a college football game or even a national golf tournament. And unlike the old school days where portability was not an option, Grass Valley Director is small. People take this piece of hardware into the field and use it all the time because it's portable, it's powerful, and it's flexible. So there it is. It's pretty amazing when you think about how far broadcast production has come in the last 30 years. Even more amazing when you think about how far we've come in the last 50 and where we're probably going to be in the next 20. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to follow the series if you like it. Be sure to look for more episodes in the near future, and if you want more information on Grass Valley Broadcast Solutions, follow the links in the descriptions below. Hey, we'll see you next Wednesday.